welcome back to my channel once again. I hope you are doing absolutely fine. So today we will start IGBT, our last topic regarding transistor. So IGBT mainly made up of the good qualities of MOSFET and the good qualities of BJT. Let us see. So IGBT means insulated gate bipolar transistor. So IGBT stands for insulated gate bipolar transistor. Okay, so what are the important features of IGBT? Let us see. First of all, just like MOSFET, it has high input impedance. It has high input impedance because of the metallic insulation, that is an SiO2 layer, just like MOSFET. Okay. Secondly, the conduction loss is less. Okay, the conduction loss is less, like your BJT, So high input impedance, conduction loss is less. It is applied into medium power application. It is mainly applied into medium power applications. Okay. Next, it has no secondary breakdown effect. It has no secondary breakdown effect. Like your BJT suffers from secondary breakdown, but IGBT do not suffer from secondary breakdown. Okay. Again, these are the main important characteristics. Some good characteristics from MOSFET and some good characteristics from BJT also. Okay, so IGBT can be considered as MOSFET plus BJT. This is the main feature. Okay. Now let us see the basic structure of IGBT and how it is fabricated and what are the equivalent circuits of IGBT. Let us see. So the basic structure of IGBT is just like your MOSFET. So if you have not seen my previous videos regarding MOSFET and BJT, please go and watch those videos so that you can get a clear idea about IGBT. Because without any basic idea of MOSFET and BJT, you cannot get the basic idea of IGBT. So let us see. See, the structure is similarly like a power MOSFET, a VDMOS. Okay. So this is your gate, but the change is that you have the source terminal na. Similarly, you have emitter terminals over here. Okay. And you have drain terminal over here. So the drain terminal is now replaced by the collector terminal. Okay. So this is, I have told you in MOSFET that emitter is similar to your drain. Emitter is similar to your source. Collector is similar to your drain, and the gate is similar to your base. So here, because of the mixture of the two devices, you have gate, you have emitter, and you have collector over here. And you have N plus substrate, just like your MOSFET. Here you have P substrate, here you have N minus substrate. But the change is that here in MOSFET you have N plus substrate, but in IGBT, you have P plus substrate. So this is the basic structure of the IGBT. Okay, so it has three terminals like the other devices: gate, emitter and collector. The collector resembles the drain terminal of the MOSFET, and the collector resembles the same terminal, which is the same working principle as in your BJT. The emitter resembles the source terminal in MOSFET, and emitter itself represents the emitter terminal in BJT, and the gate terminal represents the gate in MOSFET, and the gate terminal also represents the base terminal of your power BJT. Now let us see how the biasing works. So the biasing is similar to your MOSFET biasing. So gate is made positive with respect to your emitter. This is emitter, and gate is made positive with respect to this. This is also emitter. Okay. This is also emitter, and this is your emitter to collector voltage, that is plus minus VCE, and this is gate to emitter voltage VG. Okay, so let us see now. This P plus layer is called the injection layer. Why this is called injection layer, we will see when we discuss the working principle of IGBT. This is called the injection layer. Okay, this is called the drift layer, the collector drift terminal. You have studied previously in power diode, in power BGT, and even in power MOSFET. This N- layer enables the high voltage blocking capability of the device. So this is a power device, that's why this is the N- layer over there, and this is the body. This is the body of IGBT. Okay, so what are the layers? You have body, you have drift, you have the injection layer. Okay, so again let us see what is the working principle. So whenever you are applying the collector to emitter voltage, this junction, the PN junction, let us say this is J1, this junction is reverse bias, so there is no current flow in the circuit till you have applied the gate to emitter voltage. Okay, so just when you apply the collector to emitter voltage, there is no current through the device is off, but the device is forward bias. So what is the condition? When you apply VCE but no VGE, device is forward biased. So when it is forward biased, when you apply the collector to emitter voltage, but the gate to emitter voltage you yet to apply, you have not applied that voltage, then your IGBT is in forward bias condition. Now if you trigger this gate terminal similar to your MOSFET, what will happen? There is an electric field which is again generated like similar to your MOSFET, and you have a channel formed of electrons like this. Why? I have already explained in MOSFET how the channel is forming. Okay, now this N- layer and this electron channel is shorted. Now it is shorted. So now what happens? If you apply more voltage, the more gate to emitter voltage, this channel increases. You know how. If you don't know, then go watch my previous video regarding MOSFET. So this N- layer is now shorted. On the other hand, this P plus layer, this P plus substrate injects holes into this N- layer. So why this is called injection layer? Because it injects hole in N- layer. Okay, so this P plus layer inject hole into the N- layer. Now what happens? Your N- drift layer is flooded with the electrons from the P and flooded with the injection of holes in the N- layer. So what happens? The conductivity of this N- layer increases, the carrier density increases, and a collector current flows from this to this, like this. Okay, collector current flows like this. So what are the steps? First, what is the working principle? First, the VCE. When we apply the collector to emitter voltage, the emitter keeping the negative and the collector keeping the positive, similar to your V. You have applied VDS, na? VDS in the case of MOSFET. MOSFET, what you have done? The source must be kept negative and the the drain must be kept positive. Similarly, here VCE. When you apply VCE, your device is forward biased. Okay, it is in forward bias condition, but it is not conducting, so it is blocking the forward voltage. And now, as soon as you apply the gate to emitter voltage, till now you have not applied gate to emitter voltage, but as soon as you apply gate to emitter voltage, what happens? Similar to your MOSFET, an electric field is generated here. This is also SiO2 layer. This is also SiO2 layer. An electric field is generated here, and a channel is formed. You know how the channel is formed if you have seen my MOSFET video. And this N- layer is shorted with your N channel. And what happens? This P plus layer, this is called the injection layer, injects holes into this N- layer. And what happens? The carrier density of N- layer increases. How this is increased? Because of the flooding of your holes from the N- layer, and also from the electron channel which is formed in the P layer. So the carrier density increases and a collector current flows from collector to emitter like this, in this direction. This is the direction of the current flow. This is the collector current. So this is the basic working principle of IGBT. Now let us see what is the equivalent circuit of this IGBT. First we will see approximate equivalent circuit, then we will see the exact equivalent circuit. Okay. Okay. So, see, while drawing the approximate equivalent circuit, let us first draw approximate equivalent circuit. So, till now, what we have seen the basic working principle of IGBT. What are the important characteristics of IGBT? Okay, important characteristics mean what good characteristics is it's occur from MOSFET and the bipolar junction transistor. Now let us see the equivalent circuit. First, the approximate equivalent circuit. See, here is a basic PNP transistor formed here, like this. This is a PNP transistor. Okay, P to N, P plus, N minus, and that is P. Okay, and here, in the case of approximate equivalent circuit, you can see there is a diode also, which is formed like this. This is N and this is P. So if you draw the approximate equivalent circuit, what it will look like? It will look like first this PNP transistor, and see one thing, you have a body resistance also here, which is RBY. RBY. Let's see one thing. see here. So what I was telling, that here you have a PNP transistor, parasitic transistor, moreover we need to say, and you have a body resistance RBY. This is a body part, na? So this part also have a body resistance, and this is a thyristor which is developed, and this is the symbol for thyristor, and we will see later on what is this, how this is the symbol of a thyristor. And see one thing, you have a drift terminal resistance RD. Okay. So now if you draw the approximate equivalent circuit, what it will look like? We will start from this terminal. Sorry. We will start from this terminal, that is P plus, this is N minus, and that is your P. This is this transistor. Okay. This is this transistor, like this. Okay. And this is your collector terminal of the IGBT. This is not the collector terminal of your transistor. This is the collector terminal of your IGBT. Do not confuse in that. It should be the emitter terminal. Why? Because this has the arrow direction. Okay. Now, this is the collector terminal of IGBT. Okay. Now, see, there is a drift resistance like this, and you have a MOSFET which is formed. Okay. So this is a MOSFET, and this is your gate terminal of the MOSFET, and this is P, this is N plus. Okay. So this is the approximate equivalent circuit. This is the collector terminal of your IGBT, and this is your gate terminal. This is a MOSFET. That's why you may be calling IGBT as the combination of MOSFET and IGBT. So this is the approximate equivalent circuit. Okay. For drawing the exact equivalent circuit, what are the consideration we need to take? First of all, this is the drain terminal resistance over here. You can also draw the body resistance over here also. But in the exact equivalent circuit, what are the things that we can see? That this transistor keeping intact, this PNP transistor keeping intact, but there is another transistor which is forming, see, N, that is P, that is N minus. So there is another transistor which is forming like this. Okay. And the current direction will be like this. This is the base. Okay. So now if we modify this circuit, how it will look like? This is your first transistor, which is this one. Let us say this is Q1, so that is Q1. And in your P, in the P terminal, see, this P, see, this is N minus. This is N minus. You have a drain resistance in the N minus layer, and you also have the emitter terminal of the NPN transistor. Okay, this is an NPN transistor. So you have the N minus terminal of the NPN transistor over here. Okay, like this. And your base, this is the base. This is the base. See, this is P substrate, this is P substrate. So the P substrate, which is the collector terminal of this transistor, is same as the base terminal of this transistor. like this, and you have the body resistance RB1. Okay, this is connected like this. See here, this is your N minus terminal, this is your P plus terminal, this is your P terminal. You have the body resistance like this here, you have the drift resistance like this, and you have the MOSFET over here. And what is the direction of this arrow? This is over here. So you have this transistor as Q2. Okay, this is your P and this is your N plus layer. Okay, so this is the exact equivalent circuit of the IGBT. So you have two transistors and one MOSFET. Now what is the direction of the main current? The current always flow in this direction. This is the direction of the collector current, the main current. This is the main current path. The main current should flow from here to here like this. And one thing you should know, that your collector current is comprising of two components, which is electronic current, let us say IE, and also hole current. Okay, the main component is your electronic current. Main component is your electronic current. So the collector current comprising of two main components, and electronic current and your hole current. Okay, this is the path of your electronic current. This is IE, and this is the path of your hole current. Okay, so if you see here, the electronic current which flows from here then continues in this N plus layer with the N with the channel front. Okay, so the electronic current flows from here, from the collector, travels here, drain resistance, and then travels here. That's why the electronic current flows like this, from here, then comes here, and then electronic current. But the whole current which is flowing in the NPN PNP transistor like this. Your body resistance Pn minus, then P, then body resistance, and then to emitter. Okay, so these are the two parts of the collector current, electronic current and hole current. And see, the main circuit always comprises of your electronic current. This whole current must be as low as possible. Okay, so why this should be as low as possible? Let us see. Till now what we have seen? We have seen the basic working principle of IGBT, the approximate equivalent circuit, the exact equivalent circuit. Now let us see what is meant by the latch up in IGBT. What is latch up in IGBT? See, your collector current is comprising of your electronic current plus hole current. Okay. Now what happens if the collector current is increased? Collector current is basically your load current that is going to the load circuit. Now if collector current is increased, by default your whole current should increase. Okay, electronic current also increase, but what will happen if the whole current increase? Suppose your whole current is increased, the IH component is increased. What will happen? It will trigger this NPN. It will trigger this NPN transistor. And what will happen? The regenerative action will also trigger your Q1. So what will happen? IH increased. It will trigger Q2 on. Q2 will be turned on. And as Q2 will be turned on, by regenerative action, your Q1 will be also on. and as Q1 and Q2 are both on, now IGBT cannot be the current IC in IGBT. So this collector current in IGBT cannot be controlled by gate voltage. It cannot be controlled by your gate voltage. So for turning off this IGBT, we will need the force commutation technique. We will need force commutation technique. So as the IGBT is not being controlled by your gate voltage and the force commutation technique is used to turn off IGBT, this problem in IGBT is known as your latch up in IGBT. So what is the remedy of this? The manufacturer, always the IGBT manufacturer, they told a safe, they write a safe value of collector current that should not be exceeded. If that is exceeded, the latch up problem will be shown in your IGBT. Okay, so this is the latch up problem. The latch up problem basically happening because of the whole current component of your collector current. Okay, so till now what we have seen the basic working principle, the exact equivalent circuit, the approximate equivalent circuit, and what is the latch up problem in IGBT. So let us discuss now what are the characteristics of IGBT, and then we will wind up IGBT. See, one thing I forgot to tell you, that what is the symbol of IGBT. Symbol of IGBT. Okay. See, this symbol is same like your BJT, but the gate terminal is insulated. See, the gate terminal is insulated. That's why this is known as insulated gate bipolar transistor. Okay, this is a symbol of IGBT. You see the gate terminal is insulated. Okay, now let us see the characteristics. What are the characteristics? See, the characteristics are same as your MOSFET and BJT. Same characteristics. So what is the equivalent circuit? First let us see. See, this is your VCC, just like your transistor, collector to collector voltage. This is your source resistance. Okay, and you have a parallel resistance also, which is known as R, gate to emitter resistance. This is your emitter terminal, and this is your collector terminal. This is suppose RC. Okay. Similarly here, this is collector terminal. This is base or gate terminal, and this is your emitter terminal. Similar to your MOSFET and BJT, this emitter terminal is grounded. So it is a common emitter. Again, this is a common emitter configuration. Okay. Now let us see the characteristics. The first characteristics is your transfer characteristic, just like your MOSFET. These are the characteristics. See here, this is again the common emitter configuration. and this is the characteristics that we will see. First, the transfer characteristics or the input characteristics. Okay. In the MOSFET, what was our transfer characteristics? Our transfer characteristics was between the gate to emitter voltage, okay, or gate to source voltage with respect to collector current, and that is a exponentially increasing curve like this, and you have a threshold voltage of VGET, gate to emitter threshold voltage. After that, the collector current rises. That is, we apply some gate to emitter voltage. Then, after a threshold value, this is threshold. After some threshold value, your collector current starts increasing. This is the transfer characteristics, same as your MOSFET. Now let us see the output characteristics. The output characteristics are similar to your MOSFET also. So you have the, see, this is your collector to emitter voltage. In your BJT also you have taken this collector to emitter voltage. So see, there is a generalized thing in these three switches, your BJT, your MOSFET and your IGBT. If you know one or two switches in depth, that's why I have spent more time in MOSFET and BJT, then IGBT is a piece of cake. So this is VCE, collector to emitter voltage, and this is your IC. Curve looks like same, just like your MOSFET. Okay. And these curves that we have got, this is for one VGE1, VGE2, VGE3 and so on. So if you increase the gate to emitter voltage, the curves will increase, will change like this. So see, it's the similar characteristics in it, just like your MOSFET. And see one thing, your IGBT is a voltage control device, just like your MOSFET. Voltage controlled device. Okay, see this characteristic. And remember one thing, this curve is similar to your MOSFET, and this gate to emitter voltage. See, what are the similarities? This gate to emitter voltage is same as gate to source voltage for MOSFET, and this voltage also same as base to emitter voltage in case of BJT. So these are the similarities that you can get. Okay, so these are the two characteristics, main two characteristics, the output characteristics and the transfer characteristics. Okay, now let us see the application of IGBT, and we will wind up. Applications of IGBT in power electronics is very vast. Applications. See, if you have not seen my MOSFET and BJT videos, then you cannot relate IGBT, because IGBT, I am repeating again and again that IGBT consists of two main devices, your MOSFET and your BJT. Okay, so what are the applications? The applications are very interesting. First of all, in your modern EMU train, EMU means your local trains, electric multiple unit. What is the full form of EMU? Electric multiple unit. Modern EMU trains or local trains, you have IGBT switching over there. Okay. Next, your high voltage DC transmission system you have now. In in your high voltage DC transmission system, they use IGBT as a switching device. Okay. Again, any modern drive application, IGBT suits the best. Okay. So these are the main applications of IGBT. What are the frequency range of IGBT? Between MOSFET and your BJT. BJT is maximum your 20 kilohertz. From 20 kilohertz up to less than 200 kilohertz. So 20 kilohertz to 50 kilohertz, you can expect the operating frequency range of IGBT. So that's all about your basics of power BJT, your MOSFET and IGBT. So we will wind up transistor over here. We will start next SCR from the next class. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe.